this video, what I want to do is talk to you about finding arc length. The length of the arc S, we're using S to denote the length of the arc, is the product of the radius, which we are using R, and the measure of the central angle theta. And theta must be in radians. It's very, very important that you have this in radians. So the length of the arc S is equal to R times theta. So it's a very simple process. All you have to do is multiply the radius times the central angle, but you do have to make sure that the angle is in radians. If it's not, you have to convert it first. So let's get started on an example. A circle has a radius of 5.2 centimeters, so this is going to be my R, and we're going to find the length S with the given central angle. So all we have to do is take and plug it into this formula. So we would say that S is equal to 5.2 times pi over 4. So now, depending upon your course requirements, sometimes you are asked to leave it as an exact answer. An exact answer means you just leave it in terms of pi. An approximate answer means that you actually multiply it out either by 3.14 or using the pi button in your calculator. For my calculations, I did use the pi button in my calculator, which will give you a more exact approximation. Okay, so if I take 5.2 and divide it by 4, I end up with 1.3 times pi. So if you want an exact answer, this would be an exact answer. Okay, for an approximate answer, all you would do is take and plug into your calculator 1.3 times pi or 1.3 times 3.14, depending upon the preference of the course that you're in. I know sometimes with some professors or teachers use online platforms and they're very, very picky about rounding, so make sure that you do watch and follow what they say. If they say use 3.14 for pi, then make sure you use 3.14. If they say use the pi button on your calculator, then use the pi button on your calculator. So with this one, when I do multiply this out, it gives me 4.0841 centimeters. And I rounded to 4 decimal places. I always go more than probably is necessary because it just gives you a better approximation, but just round to however many places it says. If it says round to the nearest tenth, that's 1 decimal place, hundredth is 2, thousandth, and then I rounded to 10 thousandths with 4. Okay, so let's look at the next one that I have here. For this one, we do have this given to us in degrees. So the central angle is given to us in degrees. So we have to convert degrees to radians. So our first step for this one is we have to convert to radians. And remember, the conversion for this is that pi is equal to 180 degrees. So 180 degrees is half of a circle, so pi is halfway around. 2 pi, remember, is all the way around 360 degrees. So to convert this to radians, what we're going to do is we're going to take the 150 degrees and we're going to multiply it by pi over 180 degrees. So when we do this, it's best to not approximate. If you reduce this, the zeros cancel each other out, and 15 and 18 can both be divided by 3. So if I divide these by 3, this becomes 5 and this becomes 6. So we could say that this is 5 pi over 6. Okay, so now that we have it in radians, we can simply plug it into our formula. So we can say that S is equal to 5.2 times 5 pi over 6. Now with this one, because of the fact that I'm dividing by 6 and it doesn't go into these nicely, you would, if you're looking for an exact answer, it's better to put this as a fraction rather than as a decimal, because it's not a nice concise decimal. And the last one, it was a nice concise decimal where it ended at 1.3. So for this one, what I would do is I would convert this to a fraction. So when I multiply this out, I end up with 13 thirds. When I multiply 5.2 times 5/6, I end up with 13 thirds pi. centimeters, which would give us our exact answer. So if you're looking for the exact answer, and you can use a calculator to help you with that, at a later time I will try to add a TI-84 and TI-Nspire video that shows you how to do that. Okay, so 13/3 pi would be our exact answer, and then again, if you plug it in, and I'm going to round to 4 decimal places again, the approximate answer for this one would be 13.6136 centimeters. And again, I went to 4 decimal places. The more decimal places you have, the more precise your answer is. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there are additional topics you need me to cover, please let me know that as well.